The SABC's board and management met today with the Deputy Communications Minister Pinky Kekana for a progress report on the public broadcasters' turnaround plans. The board provided Deputy Minister Kekana with a detailed breakdown of how the government's multi-billion rand bailout has been utilised. This is in line with National Treasury's priorities, namely the settling of outstanding debt, investment in technology, local content and building maintenance. Kekana, who has been delegated to oversee the process, is apparently satisfied that there has been significant progress in the commitments made. To talk more about this is chairperson of the SABC Board, Mr. Bongumusa Makhathini. Very good evening to you and thank you so much for speaking to us, Mr. Makhathini. So, by all means, as I've just read in the introduction, it seems that the meeting went well.
Exceptionally well. Good evening to you and good evening to our listeners and viewers at home.
So let's talk about earlier on in the year when the bailout was to be extended to the SABC. The Communications Minister had said by then the SABC had met 5 of the 8 conditions. What has happened to the outstanding 3?
The 3 conditions that were still contested, SABC has provided further details to the Department of Communications, which has been evaluated by the department together with National Treasury. So there's significant progress that has been made to meet those deadlines. But also the GTEC support that we got highlighted some of the things will have to be submitted by the end of January, because some of the things will require some bit of work, and it will be a process for us to fully comply with those kind of conditions. For an example, if you look at the condition 6, which talks about non-core assets, that would require us to do a certain level of assessment, identify those properties, get them evaluated, which we have done. But the process to get those sold might take longer than initially anticipated. But we've done exceptionally well in complying with those conditions.
And could you, just for the benefit of our viewers, just remind us of the other 2 that you felt that needed further negotiation?
The second one talks to the separation of our reporting between where we need to separate between commercial and public those stations that have a public mandate. That in the manner in which we report our financials, we need to make a distinction between what is commercial and what is of public interest. The third one talks to private-public partnership, how we're going to work with other third parties. Let's say maybe if we decide to go into partnership with other broadcasters or want to go to some form of partnership with telcos, we also needed to have a framework that will define how SABC will go about doing that. The third one is the one that I've touched on, which talks to non-core assets. That condition specifically spoke about the list of our properties and what we're going to do with those properties. So what we've done, we've solicited the help of experts that have come in and did an assessment of all those properties, and there's about 25 of these properties that needs to be considered. Some will be sold through what we call an auction kind of a setup. So those are the 3 conditions that some of them initially were highlighted as partially met, others not met at all. So, but when you look at where we are today, we've done significant progress in actually adhering to those conditions.
Mr. Makhathini, could you then talk to us about the investigations that are underway and that you've also been instructed to go more detailed into, especially when it comes to the reasons that the SABC has seen a net loss, the people who've been implicated, and that would help you to enhance on revenue as you've committed to as a course of this bailout?
Certainly, that condition that talks about consequence management, even in the initial assessment that was done before the granting of the first batch of the bailout, we had done significant work in that. You will know that we fully implemented the remedial action as recommended by the public protector. We've done our own forensic investigation, and there's quite a number of DCs that have been concluded. Of course, there's about 8 that are still in progress. Touching also on the irregular appointments, we are in court. I think we've had 2 sessions in court where we're asking the court to help us, declare those appointments as nullify them. There's quite a number of work that has been done also with the SIU investigation We are in court litigation processes with a number of people that are implicated in what went wrong in the previous regime. So a significant amount of work has been done to hold people accountable and to discipline those that are implicated in wrongdoings.
Earlier on, you reported that there was an improvement, I think, of about 35% on the net loss of the SABC. Where are those figures now? Is there any sense that it's coming back to financial health?
Yes, we definitely. The one you're talking about, the 35%, that talks to the losses of the SABC. There is continuous improvement in that area. Our finances are looking really different and better. But the other thing that we've committed to do, which we continue to do, is to review all deals, all contracts. Some of them may have been running for 25 years, 20 years, but if those are not generating the desired revenue income, and they're not performing in terms of the ARs, we're looking at ARs of about 12. There's a number of measures that we now very critical in assessing to make sure that whatever we have, whatever we do, does make commercial sense and does make logic. Of course, without compromising our mandate to deliver in terms of informing, entertaining, and doing what is expected of a public broadcaster.
All right, thank you very much for that update. Chairperson of the SABC Board, Bongumusa Makhathini.